The truth is, the future won't be won by averages. It will be shaped by edge cases, by technologies that outperform when conditions aren't ideal. Sam returns to the question of efficiency and scale, doubling down on the idea that most vehicles don't need to be hyper efficient. And he is right. Most won't be, but some should be, because every system needs a leading edge. Hyper efficient vehicles aren't meant to replace every car on the road. It's meant to push the boundary of what's possible so that others can follow, adapt, and learn. This is the Formula One of energy efficiency. Like racing tech that eventually becomes standard braking systems, aerodynamics, even hybrid drivetrains. Vehicles like Aptera show us where design can go, and from there, it can trickle down. Innovation doesn't always look mainstream, and sometimes it looks like a wedge. I love coming up to a challenge like this. You're saying, hey, battery tech's going to go down, it's going to go cheaper, but that doesn't mean that grid infrastructure across country is going to improve to allow charging of all of these vehicles, like where everyone is currently living.
Well, if you think about it, anywhere we have a lot of solar, we also waste a lot of power. We waste a huge amount of power because of the duck curve, the solar duck curve. We create all this power in the middle of the day when people aren't using it, and then it simply gets curtailed. And for people who don't know what that means, they just basically get rid of it. So really, if you think about vehicle to grid, and you guys are starting to utilize that in the United States, vehicle to grid potentially is this, I think it's part of the solution. And people being essentially off grid. I mean, you're still on grid, but you're not really using the grid. And I think that a lot of experts think that's where we're headed. If people have their own solar and they're not wasting that solar, actually using it, and whether that goes into their car or into their home battery, then they won't potentially need to actually take all this extra power from the grid. What they can do though, is put power into the grid. So the average person, say for example me, I consume far less power than I actually produce. Would consume probably on average 35% of my power is what I actually consume. So there is, in Australia, there's 4 million households. We have about 11 million households and 4 million of them have solar. So now we have this battery. I think of the 4 million households with solar, I think about 350,000 have batteries. So only a small percentage. But now the government has essentially subsidizing it to reduce the price by around 50%, meaning you can get a home battery now for literally about $5,000 US. It's a no-brainer, right? What you're doing is for the 3.5 million households that don't have a battery, you're making a battery so cheap, you're making the ability for them to produce their own power and be energy self-sufficient cost them almost nothing.